Now let's talk about Turning Point USA. On a Turning Point USA side, when you think about what they did, okay, Turning Point USA, to say that these guys took on the NFL, the first ever institution to take on the NFL and have the courage to test and see what happened. And by the way, I don't even think they knew how many people would tune in. I guarantee you Turning Point USA had no clue. 5.6, 5.7, 5.8 million concurrent people were going to tune into one channel, and Charlie Kirk's channel would have 1 million. So you put those two together, 7 million tuning in, watching that. I don't think they were expecting that. So when I watched the show and I watched the audience and I saw it, I'm like, all right, good performance. It was okay. I gave it a 6, 6.5. And why do I give it a 6? I give it a 10 for the idea and execution. I give it a 6, 6.5 because the market is now saying there is a place for that. And you can actually get Super Bowl to want to do a co-op with you and do something with you. I don't know what that would look like. But I do think if they would have put a little bit more money into it, I think it could have been more creative. I think they could have added some humor. I think they could have done a little bit more. But I do give them a 6.5 for the performance that they had. I give them a 10 for execution, the fact that they actually did it. They came through. And now the market's watching and saying, oh, my God, there's a place for this. Remember, you know what they charge for 30-second slots this year for commercials?
$3 million?
$8 to $10 million.
Holy
Let me say it one
moly.
more time. 30-second is $8 million to $10 million. 60-second is $16 to $20 million to put a 60-second commercial. So if I'm the board right now, remember, in business, it's all about margins. It's all about margins. Yeah, $8 to $10 million, 30 seconds. In business, it's all about small little percentages. What does that mean? Tom, if a insurance company loses 7% of market share to somebody else, do they pay attention to it?
Oh, my gosh. When you take a look at 10% PE, so a price-earnings ratio, typical company on Wall Street, Pat, 10% profitability, net profit is a big deal. You lose 7% off the top, that probably goes to 5.
So you know what this means,
your profits are your last month. Not only would it get my attention, it would get everybody standing up hot.
Do you think they're talking about TPUSA at all? Do
Yes,
you think
they
the
are.
word TPUSA has come out of Roger Goodell's mouth?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think they're thinking about? Do you think Roger Goodell's the type of guy that will make the call and say, hey, guys, can we think about something for next year? Do you think they would do that?
To like a Jay-Z.
Yes.
Do I think Roger Goodell calls Jay-Z or calls Trump or calls these guys and say, hey, can we figure out something to do for 2027 and still entertain the audience with TPUSA? Do you think they do that?
I don't think they do a mashup, but I think in the coming week, not weeks, they're going to sit down and look at this because you're going to have, let's say that I'm Pepsi or I'm Budweiser. I'm like, hey man, I gave you the horse and the eagle trying to put an American ad
Okay,
on
so let
this
me
thing.
flip it then. Let me flip it. Do you think Pepsi and Coca-Cola and those guys, somebody from TPUSA calls them and say, hey, we've already lined up next year, and here's what we want to do. We want to go ahead. We understand you're doing it there as well. Here's what we want to think about. Do you want to do do you want to be a sponsor? Do you think they make that kind of a call?
Absolutely. If I'm Budweiser, I'm in the business of selling my product.
I agree.
And I got 20 million people on TPUSA on their first year. It's going to be bigger next year, and
Yes.
it's going to be more there. And I'm going to tell them to say, listen, I know you're looking for my money. I've always been here at the Super Bowl, but I'm giving you 7 next year. That's
Right.
all I'm doing because I'm going to put 4 with TPUSA. Soon as that happens, you not only have Roger Goodell's attention, you have the attention of every owner that's going to be in Roger Goodell's
I totally
ears.
agree.
And not all those owners were happy about Bad Bunny.
I
by the
totally
way.
agree. I totally agree, Adam.
Well, here's what I think is really going on here. I think the NFL just had their Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney moment where they said, whoa, we're abandoning our core audience to please a certain audience. And listen, born and raised Miami, in the nightlife scene, dude, I love Bad Bunny. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong performer for the moment. I agree with you on that. But don't forget, who does the NFL really care about? NFL is not red. NFL is not blue. NFL is all about the green. They might as well change the NFL to the National Finance League. They're charging 10, 20 million bucks. Money grab, money grab, money grab, money grab. There's also a saying in the NFL, not for long. Hey, if you don't act right, not for long. So if you keep doing things like this, Roger Goodell, you're going to have fans say, just like Colin Kaepernick, not for long. So in my opinion, what they're going to do is next year and say, we're going to stomp on Turning Point USA. They are no longer going to be basically taking our audience away, and they're going to have a country hip-hop mashup. They're going to probably bring Garth Brooks and Nelly and do that type of thing because they got to bring America again. Final point. I genuinely don't think the NFL fully understands how big of a player they are in the national landscape for culture. This is the biggest cultural moment in our country, and you're going to fumble the ball on the 1 yard line, Roger Goodell? Do better.
But when you say the Dylan Mulvaney moment, do you not think Roger Goodell? He's a smart guy. Whatever people hate on him and his decisions in the past, like you know that they're in the room. They're like, he's like, wait a minute. So every song is going to be in Spanish. Yes. Are we cool with that? Yes. And I'm curious how much of a moment is like Jay-Z and them going, yeah, we're gonna do that. Jay-Z's not stupid as well. This is intentional. If you're doing this, it's intentional. With Dylan Mulvaney, they hired a girl at Budweiser. Remember, she was all woke, rainbows everywhere. She's like, that's for the movement. That was a horrible decision with some DEI stuff, and they paid the consequences. This, I don't think, is one of those moments.
Yeah.
I don't think this is that moment.
Are you upset that every song was in Spanish?
I didn't get anything out of it. I don't know any of the songs. I don't
let me
know
just
Spanish.
Play devil's advocate. That's what he does.
I understand that.
That's like getting mad at Kendrick Lamar that every song he sang last year was a hip-hop song.
I'm not getting mad.
That's what he does. That's like saying, hey, I don't really like what Usher did 2 years ago because he did R&B. That's what he does.
Adam, I'm not upset. I'm disappointed because you know what, Adam? I wasn't even going to watch the damn thing. I'm watching it because I'm with them and I want to hang out and be with people that we know. But then when it's halftime and I'm sitting there for however long it was, I don't know his songs. I don't know Spanish.
Well, you
so
know him
what
now.
am I getting out of it?
You know him now.
Well, but what I'm saying is these aren't decisions that are just, oh, whoops, we just messed up Dylan Mulvaney. No, they know what they're doing, and it's intentional.
Do you think the NFL is regretting this decision? They woke up today, seeing the ratings, seeing the game.
They don't give a damn.
Do you think they're regretting this? PhD?
Not at all. Not at all.
I don't care.
I don't.
Not
I
at
don't,
all?
No.
Even with Turning Point USA taking
No.
part of their audience?
By the way, here's how life works. Somebody had to eventually do it. I have so much respect that TPUSA chose to do something because it could have been a massive flop. Massive flop. By the way, at what number would you have said, okay, good for them? If they had 1 million live stream, would you have been like, damn, that's pretty good?
That's pretty good, though.
They did 5.8 million live
That's what I'm
stream.
saying.
Yeah.
I think it's the second or third highest live stream ever on YouTube anyone's ever done. And number one was a country, India. It's not like it's easy to do something like that.
That's why I think the NFL should be worried.
I agree with the part that you're saying, but also the NFL, here's the problem. Like, so remember, what is NFL trying to do? What is the NBA trying to do? Who is their competition? What is NBA and NFL's competition? Who do they look at as competition? One
Each
sport.
other.
No, it's one sport. Soccer.
You're saying around the world?
I mean, look at,
Globalized?
dude, what did Ronaldo get paid last year? Rob, can you pull up Ronaldo's contract in Saudi? What was Ronaldo's contract in Saudi? Watch this. You ready?
The last year.
What is
250,
Ronaldo's
crazy.
contract in Saudi? And then I want you to go ask what look at this. Ronaldo's contract in Saudi was what? It was, is it pulling up?
million, something crazy like that, right?
It makes
Could I be
no
wrong?
sense. It's a 2.5-year contract for $500 million.
200 million
He
a
gets
year.
paid $200 million a
Wow.
year.
250. That's euros.
Yeah. That's right, euros,
That's right.
250. So $600 million. So do you not think NBA players are like, man, when are we going to make $200 million a year? Da, 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 da. Well, guess what? We got to make the sport international. Do I think Roger Goodell's going to sit there and think about losing the 7% while he's trying to gain India, China, Europe, Brazil, South, Central America? I don't know how they're thinking in their marketing meetings. I don't know if they're so. Who cares about the conservatives? It's 7%. Let's go get China. Let's go get this. That's the part that I don't know what their marketing team is thinking about.
Well, you're absolutely right, by the way, and I'll give you data. How many games were played not in the country this year? Mexico, London,
yeah.
Berlin.
Yeah.
They've been doing this for a while.
Yes, they have.
Expanding their audience.
Yeah.
So it's not a secret that the NFL is trying to globalize their league.
They are.
Because you're absolutely right to use some data. If they lose 7%, but they gain 25%, that's a net win for the NFL. And I
By the
think
way,
that's what they're doing.
Rob, can you still go to the previous poll or no?
I cannot. I can tell you the results, so I know them.
16,000 people voted. Don't tell the results. Give them the option. I want to see what they think people voted as. Go ahead.
The options were which Super Bowl halftime show did you watch? Bad Bunnies, Turning Point USA's, I watched both, or I watched neither.
What do you think was first?
This is our audience?
Our audience.
Oh, our audience.
So Bad Bunny, Turning Point USA, both, neither. Vinny, which one do you think's first? What's last?
I'm sorry, say the question again.
Okay, which Super Bowl halftime show did you watch? Bad Bunny, Turning Point USA, both, neither. What do you think they said?
Both.
Our audience.
Both was first place?
Our audience?
Tom, what do you think they said?
I think the number one is, I'm going to go 45% TPUSA was number one, our audience.
Okay.
And then
What's last?
last is neither.
Last is neither. Okay. Adam, what do you say?
Our audience, 60 to 70 watched Turning Point, 30 to 40 watched Super Bowl, and very few watched neither.
I think
People
more of our
watch
audience
this.
watched.
So
the
that adds
actual
up to
Super Bowl.
120.
Okay, show it, Rob. Show
Well,
it.
I can tell. I don't have it.
Okay, go ahead.
So it was 40% TPUSA, 30% NFL, 25% both, and then 20% both, 10% neither.
So who won?
TPUSA.
TPUSA. So more
TPUSA had
people want-
40%, and then Super Bowl was 30% that they watched it.
But
Okay.
you know what's so impressive
What's
about
that?
this? Who were the people that were on Turning Point USA halftime show? Kid Rock, and name the other names.
I don't know.
Exactly. Kid Rock hasn't had a hit in 20 years, bro. This is something that is.
What I'm trying to say.
this-
They're
so-
flirting to see if this could work.
They could have said, listen, it's country music X, jazz music Y, folk music Z. Like the performers were irrelevant. They came as almost like defiance to the NFL.
Yeah.
They don't have big names here. I've never heard of any of these names. I've heard them sing. They're great, but I don't know any of these people. Kid Rock, when's the last big song that he had? Ball with the ball, da bang, a bang.
You're right.
25 years ago.
That's why I say in my mind, like if as a business owner, what would we do? Do you test first, and then you say, "Whoa, we had 5.8 million guys. Let's put $20 million into it next year." Then you go get and then you put a show. You do certain festivities, activities, so you can both come and watch the game, and you can come maybe next year you rent out an arena, and you get the license from Godel to play the game on the TV. And then do performance there internally so you can watch it. That's probably the model that I would do to mix it up for next year.
This is what you talk about with leaks and opportunities.
Yeah.
Shout out to the BDC crew.
Right.
If you're the NFL and you're going through your business model, leaks and opportunities, you're thinking leak. Dude, we're leaking a whole audience over here. Turning Point is looking at this as an opportunity, and they capitalized on it, and they scored.
I agree. I agree. So to me, there was by the way, did you see trans stuff with Bunny?
No.
Did you see LGBTQ stuff?
No.
Yeah, there was.
There was one moment
there was a
in the
couple
vehicle.
boys,
some
the
guy
boys,
was
I
riding
saw
some
that.
Guys,
guy.
it was like
That-
But it was very fast.
Did you
What they
see the
have to do.
BLM stuff?
Nope.
Did you see any BLM stuff?
Nope.
Okay. Is that because NFL didn't want to do it, or is that because Trump has been pushing and challenging and everyone's getting their act together?
They're getting
What do
their
you
act
think
together.
it is?
I think they're
You
good.
think it's a little bit of both?
Of course.
Okay,
I
they're
think some
learning what to do,
guardrails
what
were
not to
put
do.
on the production.
All right, so let me go to the next one. By the way, last night when we were talking to Luis Nieto, Taylor's fiance, Luis Nieto is also with David Consulting, and he's telling me, he says, Patrick, you know what's the one thing that I noticed? I said, what's that? He says, when we went to America Business Forum, the American Business Forum event we went to?
Yeah.
Mayor
Sushi
Suarez.
spot we went to, Sky Sushi, Sexy Sushi, whatever it's called.
Sexy fish.
So when we went there, he says there was 2 speakers that came up, Vinny, that only did Spanish. He says, we're in the arena. He says the Javier Milei interview was only Spanish. He says Messi's interview was only Spanish. He says the moment they hit the stage, there was a mass exodus. Everybody left. Okay? Everybody left because they don't understand what people are saying. So he's like, the audience is watching the Super Bowl. They're like, dude, I don't know what you're singing. I don't know what you're singing. Could Bad Bunny have done one song in English to just kind of do it? You know what I mean? Like if
Of
he would have
course.
done that, I think it would have been cool to kind of do
That
it.
would have been
right?
unifying,
I
is
think it
what
would
you're
have.
saying.
But by the way, let me tell you, trust me, I was critical of them choosing Bad Bunny. and again, isolate. Bad Bunny didn't do anything wrong. They gave him the job. He didn't go say, I better do it. So the NFL chose Bad Bunny. Jay-Z chose Bad Bunny. Do you know at the end when he held the football, what it said on the football?
What it say?
Together
Did you
we
see what he said on
stand.
the football? Can you show what it said on the football at the end, Bad Bunny? Here's what he said at the end with the football.
That he spiked.
Together we.
That he spiked at the end. If you look at the football
Gronk
all
spike.
the way at the end, can you? If you just go at the end, go back a little bit. You're about to see it right
Yeah,
there.
right here.
Can he come up a little bit. Is he going to show it? Okay, if you just go online, Rob, and just type in Bad Bunny football message images to see what it says, I think it's actually a pretty encouraging message on what he put on the football at the end. This was a
I'm
very
in suspense right now. What does it
No,
say?
you got to see what it says. Zoom in. Together we
Together-
are America.
That's great.
It's good.
That's amazing.
I think that's good. I think that's
Yeah.
good that he put the message on what he did.
And this is very symbolic, and I want to ask you a question. I know you want to move on. They had the American flag first, but they had all these other flags. In my opinion, that's a great thing. You got to make the American flag 100 times bigger than all these other countries. Respect to Puerto Rico, respect to Cuba, respect to Haiti, respect to Jamaica, respect to Venezuela, yada, 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 Dominicana. You put the American flag 1,000 times bigger when you do something like this, and then you can have all the other flags. The issue is, don't put every other flag the same size as
Right.
the American
It's a
flag.
very valid
And then
point.
here's the question I have for you. There's two major sporting events that people tune into where they watch a show, the Super Bowl and the opening to the Olympics. Do you remember the opening to the Parents Olympics?
Embarrassing.
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 Trans Jesus.
Absolutely.
How would you compare, contrast?
Italy?
Literally, like 1 through 10, what
Italy
that was?
crushed it.
No. I didn't
Did
even
you
see
see
that.
Italy's opening?
Winter Olympics, nobody watches. But the Summer Olympics, when they did Trans Jesus and all that, give that a score, maybe a perception, versus the NFL.
But by the way, that's why it's under a Biden administration. Wait till you see the opening of the World Cup in the U.S., what it's going to look like.
Oh, it's going to be
What
ridiculously
do you think?
pro-America.
Who's in charge of that?
Trump.
What do you think's going to happen?
Trump.
The statistic when I'm looking at this on what's happening with PBD Podcast, more ladies are starting to watch PBD Podcast, and it keeps climbing, okay? And, of course, we all know why that is. We have Vinny on the show, and we have Tom on the show. And we do have Adam on the show, okay?
Not so much.
But the ladies are starting to watch the podcast more and more. A lot of mothers and families and ladies who are getting on here. So, fellas or ladies, Rob, if you can go a little bit lower for Valentine's Day, if you want to get a Stefano Ricci collaboration tie with Valuetainment, these are limited numbered. We have them there, but also if you go a little bit lower for the ladies, the pink hats are here. By the way, these pink hats are pink Future Looks Bright hat. Rob, can you please click on it? Especially with Valentine's Day being around the corner. Go there. Okay, Future Looks Bright, pink hats. What on the bottom, if you keep going, it's a beautiful hat, by the way. Every time you see somebody wearing this, it pops. If you, ladies, you say you watch it, if you want to represent the Future Looks Bright hat, so when you're walking in the mall, you're at the gym, you're at work, you put this on, other people say, wait a minute, me too. I watched that show as well. I'm also a Valuetainer. Click on the link below. Get yourself one of these pink hats or some of the red gear that we have, especially with Valentine's Day being around the corner. It's the most expensive day of the year for me because it's my wife's birthday that day. My wife's born on Valentine's Day, and it's Valentine's Day. But we got a soccer tournament this weekend for us instead of Valentine's Day. So we got some stuff that we got to do because there's a soccer tournament. Anyways, go to vtmerch.com.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.